I can approximate irrational numbers to the nearest tenth. We talked about approximating irrational numbers to the nearest whole number. Today we're going a little bit further. And this is all kind of based on being able to evaluate your answer, see if it makes sense, as well as pretending that your calculator doesn't have a square root button. We're going to start by estimating the square root of 85. So we start the same way. Which two perfect squares is it in between? It's in between the square root of 81 and the square root of 100. The square root of 81 is 9. The square root of 100 is 10. 85 is closer in value to 81, so it'll be closer in value to 9. On my number line, I've put 9.5 to indicate that point in the middle. 9.5 exactly in between 9 and 10. So I just start by estimating. And I can start anywhere with any number between 9 and 9.5, and I just try it out. I'm going to start with 9.3. So 9.3 is about here on my number line. If it's the square root of 85, that means that 9.3 times 9.3 should give me about 85. So I check it. 9.3 squared, 9.3 times 9.3 gives me 86.49. That's bigger than 85. It's a little bit too high. So I go back to my number line. 9.3 is too big. I'm looking for something in between 9 and 9.3. I'm going to go just 1/10 smaller to 9.2. 9.2 is about here. So now I try it. 9.2 squared should give me approximately 85. 9.2 squared, 9.2 times 9.2, 84.64, and that is a little bit too small. But this is exactly what we want. One estimate that's too high, one that's too low. We're going to look and see which one is closer to 85. That one is the better estimate for the square root. So now the question is, which is closer? I find out with subtraction. 9.3 squared, that was my first guess, gave me 86.49. I find the difference with subtraction. 86.49 minus 85 gives me a negative 1.49. So it's 1.49 away from 85. Guess number 2, 9.2 squared, give me 84.64. I find the difference, 85 minus 84.64. I have a difference of 36 hundredths. In absolute values, this one is closer. It's closer to 85. So that means that my estimation for the square root of 85 is about 9.2. So my final answer, square root of 85, is approximately 9.2. Let's do another one. So here, I want to estimate the square root of 7 to the nearest tenth. I'm looking in between the square root of 4 and the square root of 9. So I have the square root of 4 is 2, the square root of 9 is 3, 7 is closer to 9. So I'm going to go ahead, I can start in between 2.5 and 3. I'll start with about 2.7. So I want to see what is 2.7 squared. I'm going to go ahead, use my calculator, and that gives me, remember it's 2.7 times 2.7, so it's 7.29. Now that's a little bit too high. 2.7 was too high. I go 1/10 lower to 2.6. So again, I want to find out what is 2.6 squared. So I do 2.6 times 2.6. Feel free to use the calculator. And that gives me 6.76. In relationship to 7, it's too low. But remember, that's what we want. One estimate that's too high, one that's too low. We want to see which one is closer. Is 7.29 or 6.76 closer to that target value of 7? $2.7 was my first estimate for the square root. When I square it, I get 7.29. I want to find the difference. So I'll take 7 minus 7.29. I have a difference of negative 29 hundredths. Let's compare that with my other estimate. My other estimate for the square root was 2.6. When I square it, I get 6.76. I want to find my difference. So 7 minus 6.76. I'll go ahead and do my subtraction. To do a lot of borrowing. 10 minus 6, 9 minus 7. And this has a difference of 24 hundredths. This is closer because it's smaller. So my best guess for the square root of 7 is that it's about 2.6. So square root of 7 is about 2.6. Because when I multiply 2.6 times 2.6, I get almost 7. For more information, visit my website, mrslpeacock.wordpress.com.